Hi everyone, my name's Angelica. This will be my first YouTube video ever. That's a first for everything, I guess. This one's going to be all about my piercings and my experience with piercings that I've had so far. I'm almost 16. I'll be 16 in the beginning of May. So the past, technically 16 years of my life, the piercings I've had. What's gone wrong, my errors, mistakes, things I've done that I probably shouldn't have. Yeah, so I'll start out with the piercings my oldest piercings to my newest piercings. Most recent, I should say, not newest. So yeah, I'll just started. As most children get, that are girls, unfortunately, get when they're younger. I got my first toes pierced when I was less than 3 months old, so I do not remember it at all. But my first toes, don't really remember it. My mom took me when I was less than 3 months old, so, can't help out with that. And then that would be my first and second piercings, and technicalities. And then my technically third and fourth piercings I got when I was 12, nearly 4 years ago. Yeah, it was more of a kind of spur of the moment thing. What used to be stepmom has one, and I was with my dad and her for Christmas, and she randomly just asked me, hey, do you want to go out and get an ear piercing for your Christmas present? Because I was 12 and she decided that I was old enough to get a cartilage piercing, but it's not. It's an industrial bar. I thought it was really cool and I wanted it because she brought it up and offered it for me. And so I went out and got that done when I was 12, which is actually a really bad idea considering your ears growing. Your ears are growing a lot when you're younger, and my ears are still growing. Your ears never stop growing. And so getting it at 12, I'm surprised it still turned out well, but my industrial bar, fully healed, had it for it's not really 4 years old yet. It's like 3.5. But, yeah, so that was my third and fourth. I went through a time period where I just didn't really want piercings, didn't care about them, I didn't even keep them in. I took out my industrial bar. I had it in for at least a year after I got it pierced, and then I took it out for probably a year and a half. It's actually just a few months ago I decided, well, not months ago, maybe almost a year ago again, I decided I actually wanted to wear it. I kind of remembered how much I liked piercings, so I started wearing my earlobe piercings again, and I had to gauge my cartilage back up, which wasn't a fun thing, because the holes were closed up to the size of a regular earring, so it's about 22 gauge, 20 gauge, so I actually had to move them up to a 16, and then back to the standard sized bar for industrial, which is a 14, so I actually, it was a pain. I did it at the end of the summer, last summer, and right now it's March 22nd, so it was interesting. It bled a little bit. It wasn't really painful. It just was quite annoying. My ear was sore because it wasn't used to the bar being there anymore. So yeah, that was my industrial bar. I don't remember the healing process very much. It was, like I said, a spur of the moment thing. I was 12. I'm almost 16 now. I don't really remember it. And then the next thing I got was my cartilage. It's my middle cartilage on this side. It's the one with the black. My ear's really red right now, but it's the black one in the middle. And I got that, I want to say 3 years ago. No, 2.5 to 3 years ago. It was during my 8th grade summer, I believe. Yeah, summer of 8th grade. Toward the end of the summer, I think. Either that, or no, I think it is either summer of 7th grade or summer of 8th grade. I don't know. I've had it for a while. It's fully healed, and it has been. Actually, I kind of remember this one. It was like well, I didn't say this for my industrial bar, but the only thing I remember from my industrial bar was that when the needle went through, it didn't necessarily hurt. It just, like, all the blood and, like, possible that could rush to my ear, and it made it really warm, and it was really red, of course. And so that's what I remember, and that's kind of what happened for my cartilage piercing, except for it wasn't quite so warm, I guess, and it didn't stay like that nearly as long because it's only one hole compared to the 2 holes in the same ear. Cartilage piercings altogether, my industrial bar and my cartilage, they, on a scale of 1 to 10 for my personally for me, for my pain tolerance, I would say is about, minimal, maybe a 3 at most, depending on the swelling. Not bad by any means, it's bearable. And yeah. And then, so after I got my middle cartilage on this side, I got, this one I shouldn't have done. I did this one by myself. It was really stupid. My septum, I did it myself, 9 months ago. Yeah, I've recently gotten a ton of piercings. And I got it about 9 months ago. And pain tolerance, I did it myself, so it was probably a lot worse than it would have been for a person who went out and got professionally pierced. By all means, do not pierce yourself. Go out and get professionally pierced. What I did was stupid. Nobody should pierce themselves. But, you know, I haven't learned my lesson, apparently. I've pierced myself, I don't even know how many times. But yeah, I pierced that myself, which was painful. It makes your eyes water a lot. On a scale of 1 to 10, for me it's probably worse than the normal, because I did it like 3 times because I couldn't find the hole, and I was being so stupid. I don't even know. I didn't think that through very well, I guess. The healing process was fine by all means, but like, yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it was about a 5 or a 6, because I was in a lot of pain for a very long time because of what I did. It's perfectly healed. I never had a problem during the healing process, never have had an infection in it. It healed and it's perfectly straight. I'm extremely lucky. Do not pierce yourselves. Most people do not get that lucky. I don't even know how I got that lucky because I have like the worst luck possible. So yeah, that's my septum piercing. After my septum piercing, I got my 2nd and 3rd on my earlobes. Those weren't painful at all. Hardly felt the needle. Just a little bit of a pinch. Tiny little pinch. Probably a 2-ish. 2, maybe 2. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. My ears do bleed a lot, though, my earlobes, when I get them pierced, so I did notice that. They bled like crazy. Once again, I didn't go to a professional, but, I have a thing against piercing guns. I really don't like them. So my old stepmom, she actually did my 2nd and 3rd holes. She didn't want to go to Claire's or icing or anything, so we just, well, pagoda or whatever you call it. So she just did it herself, because there's no really any piercing shops where I used to live. I used to live out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, so there wasn't much of anywhere to go to get that done. So that's my earlobes. Well, except for like a couple of them. So after my 2nd and 3rds, I actually got really stupid and decided to pierce myself again. Really stupid. I don't quite remember. It was all really close together. I did my top and bottom cartilage on this ear. I pierced under my tongue. There's a scar. Right there. I pierced my smiley. There's no scar, so you can't really tell. And on my frowny, which is like this little webbing here, and that little webbing there. And there's no scarring there, none that you could see, even if you wanted to, really. Unless you were, like, taking a flashlight and, like, sticking it in my mouth or something. But, pain for my mouth ones. My tongue web, painful. Took a while. Annoying. I shouldn't have done it. It was stupid. Smiley and frowny, nothing. Like, literally nothing. I didn't even feel the needle go through. I had no complications throughout the healing processes with those either. I tend to keep my piercings very clean. With my tongue web, it was swollen. it kind of, it felt like I had a lump under my tongue, because I literally did have a lump under my tongue from the swelling. And then the frowny and the smiley were nothing. They didn't bother me when I ate. They didn't bother me anything, like, at all. My cartilage, I pierced myself. They didn't hurt. They were probably a 2. The other ones that I got done were with hollow needles, so I don't know if that was part of it. Of course, it's safer to get pierced by hollow needles, not by a regular needle. So, yeah, but they didn't hurt. They didn't bleed at all, actually. I was quite surprised. Did those myself. Not a good idea. Don't do it. Go to a professional piercer. Talk to your parents. Don't do things behind your parents' backs. I'm obviously not a good role model, but I've learned my lesson the hard way. After I did those, my parents still haven't even noticed. I'm kind of scared if they do notice someday that, like, well, they look at my ears all the time. I wear my hair up all the time, and, like, they see them, and they just, like, don't even acknowledge them. They don't know or care. Don't know why. It's just the way they are. They'd kind of forgotten how many piercings I have in my ears and don't really pay attention to it. Yeah. And, actually, I did have more ear piercings. I had one here, and there's probably a little bump there still. You can probably see it. And, I don't know. I don't know if I had any more. I don't think I did. That's just pretty much as far as the ear piercings go. The last piercing that I've had, I still have it. It's the only piercing I've gone and gotten professionally since I was 12 when I got my industrial done, which that was really sketchy too. She thought I was 15 and I was 12. We lied to her. She didn't care if she did notice. It was just a bad situation. She is sketchy. She got the needle stuck in my ear halfway through. Then, oh yeah, I should have said that. See, that's something that probably would help the industrial bar. She got the needle stuck in my ear halfway through because she didn't move it for a while, and so that was a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, to make sure they don't do that to you. Back to my other piercing that I just got 2.5 months ago. Almost 3, actually. Almost 3 months ago I got it. My belly button pierced. I'm not going to show you because... just do later date if you guys want to see that. If you want to see anything or have me go into depth about anything, just let me know. Yeah, my belly button piercing. I got it done almost 3 months ago. Probably the worst piercing experience I have had. I got it done professionally. I had wanted it for about a year, and I waited 6 months before I even bothered telling my mom. My belly button, even when I was piercing myself and being stupid, was the one thing I would never have pierced by myself. That's just something I wouldn't do. I knew that there's a lot of things that can go wrong with a belly button piercing. It's a surface piercing. I haven't done surface piercings on myself before. I will never do a surface piercing on myself. There's just so many things that can go wrong. Rejection rates are so high. There's just really too much of a risk to do it. Why I'd never want to do it myself. But, yeah, so I got that done. It took about 6 months to convince my mom. When she finally did give in, that sounds so bad. I wrote her a giant, letter. I wrote her a letter on it. I wrote her a 4-page letter explaining why I wanted it, all the risks, how it would work, how I'd take care of it, everything about it possible. The risks of migration, rejection, infection, shuns, lots of shuns, all of that good stuff, lovely stuff. She was really worried, but eventually she realized, I guess she didn't really realize, she kind of came, not to her senses. That sounds so rude. I'm not that rude to my mother, I promise. She kind of agreed with me and was like, oh, okay, I think you are responsible enough to take care of this. You have all these other piercings and you don't get infections. You can take care of it. So she finally decided, okay, you can get it, but your dad has to take you. And about 1.5 years ago, I moved back here, to where I live now. I'm not going to say where that is, but, I moved back to where I live now. Like I said, I used to live in Iowa. I lived here and I got kicked out. People don't believe me for some reason. I don't know. I got kicked out when I was 12. It was a really bad situation. My mom and I didn't get along very well. Moved to my dad's house, moved back here. And so I don't have a good relationship with my dad. Never really have. And so she goes, okay, you can get it, but your dad has to take you and he has to pay for it for Christmas. And I was like, oh, well, that's okay, I'll talk to him. So I messaged him, and I sent him a long letter too about why I want it and everything. Like I said already, it's kind of like the other letter I sent, but not quite. And so I sent him a really long letter. And he's like, okay, I'll think about it. I messaged him. I didn't call him because he was at work. So I messaged him. And then like 2 days later he replies. He goes, okay, we can go and do that for Christmas. We planned a day and everything. He was supposed to come to where I live. It takes him about a few hours to get here. And so we had planned the day, and then a few days before he actually bailed, and he said he couldn't go, that he was having a divorce, that he didn't even know where he was going to live right now, and he didn't have any money, so he couldn't take me. And so, my mom, she felt really bad that my dad, bailed on me, I guess. And so she decided to take me on the day that my dad was supposed to take me. My best friend went along with me. My mom has this extreme phobia of needles. It was actually really funny. But, we went in there, and my friends had referred me to this shop, and they had a really good, well, one friend, she had a really good experience there, and so I looked into the place, I looked at their reviews and everything, and they had some fine reviews. They didn't have any bad reviews about their piercings or anything, and the way that she explained it, he did the piercing really well, he cleaned it really well, everything he used was clean, he marked her really well, and everything went perfect. Her healing process was perfect. She never had a problem, and to this day, she has not had a problem. Lucky her. I went to this shop. I was so excited. It was January 4th. And, I went there. I was so excited. I was like, alright, I'm finally getting this belly button piercing after wanting it for a year, not saying anything for 6 months. Finally gonna get it. I went in there. We signed the papers and everything. I gave them my ID, and then my mom gave them her ID, and then we went back there. And first of all, the first thing I noticed when I walked to the shop, it was disgusting. Like, I was so anxious and, like, overwhelmed and excited that I didn't even think to look and see if the place was clean like it was supposed to be. If what he was doing was the correct procedure, I didn't even think. And so, I should have thought this through. But we get back there, I picked out my jewelry. It was this really pretty maroon gem and gemmed piece of jewelry. And I got back there and I got pierced. The pain for me was nothing. Like, I didn't even feel the clamps at all. And I say this, like, he looked at me, he goes, can you feel the clamps? And I go, what are you talking about? Like, literally, he goes, oh, well, that's weird, that's unusual. And so that I could see the clamps. I looked down and I could see the clamps. I was like, okay then. And so he's like, alright, on the count of 3, I'm gonna put the needle through. He does. He puts the needle through, and it's like, I could feel it. It didn't hurt, but I could feel the pressure and it going through my skin. It was the weirdest thing in the world. Sorry if you get grossed out easily. It was the weirdest thing in the world. Like, it could feel it, but that was a very inappropriate hand gesture. I apologize. But I could feel it, but, like, it was weird. It didn't hurt at all, like, by any means. It was just a weird pinch. Like, someone pinched me. Pain. It was easier than my earlobes. I didn't feel it at all. It hurt less than my earlobes. It was like nothing. That was my belly button piercing, I guess. And the thing, I'll go into depth with that, actually. I don't want to go into this video. If you want to see what happened with that mess, that horror story of a belly button piercing, then comment below and let me know. But yeah, that was all of my 15 piercings that I have currently, ones I've had in the past. Like, comment, subscribe.